Good afternoon. We'll talk about organigram company and the principal activities in of the different areas.
I'm going to talk about CEO, Chief Executive Officer, the highest ranking executive in the company, whose main responsibilities include developing and implementing high-level strategies, making major corporate decisions, reassurance of company, and acting as the main point of the communication between the board of directors and the corporate operations. There are various other titles for the position of CEO, including president and executive or managing director. The role of the CEO will vary from the company to another depending on its size and organization. The three qualities a CEO must have is credibility, competence, and caring. The another is personal assistant. They help them make best of their time by proving secretarial support. They also deal with a range of administrative tasks. To become a person assistant, you will need to be well organized and have a calm and professional manner. You will also need tact and discretion. A lot of the work will involve multitask. A personal assistant, sometimes called executive secretary or personal private secretary, work closely with a senior managerial or director staff to provide administrative support. Typical work activities are dealing with incoming email, faxes, and post. That's it.
Hello again, and after the CEO and the assistant, the company divided in different areas, and each one have warranty. The products are in the time, and the production level will good. So we also take the control and verify all the activities and the product, and the product have good quality. So sometimes it's a problem, and the manager need to solve it. So or anomalies in the process, and the manager most of the time he set up the meeting and discuss the problem. Some of the people that she invite are, for example, the supervisors, the mechanisms, sometimes mechanisms, but sometimes he invite to who workers, and the manager explain problem, help to of graphics, and for example Pareto graphics or pie chart, and finally the manager explain the things that or the problem, and the things that he going to do. For example, if the problem is reduce the waste of the production line, they can improve the supply chain, and so, but in production line could have different problems. For example, most of the time the workers or forget the different things that and and they are and they do the same things, and sometimes the company needs to get fired or punished. So that's it. Thank you.
I'm going to talk about the accountant. The role of the accountant is to keep accountants of the enterprise, and some of the responsibilities that an accountant has is to see how is working the cost and the production area. Some of the responsibilities that an accountant has is to see how is working the cost and the production area. Another thing is the payroll. They have to know how many personnel has the enterprise and in which area work the personnel. To see how it's going to be their payroll, they have to know how many hours and how many days they work. Another thing that an accountant do is to make the invoices for the suppliers, and the other thing that the accountants do is the bookkeeping for the movements in the enterprises, to see if the company has earnings or losses, and like this you can inform to the shareholder how is going the company. Now I'm going to talk about the marketing manager. The role of the marketing manager is to launch a brand of an enterprise and get in touch with the client to sell the product. They have to know how to build good relationships and love to work in team and know how to lead a team. A marketing manager needs to assist the personnel to tell how they want the product. The principal role of a marketing manager is to create, innovate, develop ideas, concepts, or objects. They need to identify and solve problems. They need to be original to work in any area. Have to know how to use many programs in the computer, and with this they can use the promotion and the publicity to communicate different strategies and attract consumers.
I'm talking about a selling manager. He's the person responsible for a selling department. Their principal activities are making plans about sales, also take account of a package available. Set goals and objectives. It's important to clarify that the goals are in long term and the objectives are in short term. Estimating demand and forecast sales. Here are important that he first estimate, then according their calculus do a forecast. In order to cut cost, requirement, selection and training of vendors. The role of the sales manager depends on the structure of the company, because in many cases these procedures are performed by human resources department. Delimit their territory. Setting sales quotas and define performance standards, also establishing a series of selling points. Purchasing manager is another charge in an organogram. He is left in charge of purchasing and goals all goods of that the company needs, either for resales or for the use in the company. It has to come by these goods at the best price, but without compromising on quality. It has its shares of responsibility of the company to be increasing competitive. A purchasing manager must also make the supply chain of a company is fluid, agile, and efficient. For that, communication between departments must be considered and transparent. The presence of purchasing manager is essential in larger size companies. To small business may suffice a single buyer would assume the functions of the purchasing manager. Buyer responsible for purchasing the raw material for the manufacture of the products or this input necessary for the operation of the company.